Society hands us a very specific instruction manual for a good life. Outwork everyone around you, broadcast your every move, and never, ever stop moving. But following this manual rarely leads to fulfillment. Instead, we find chronic exhaustion, fractured attention spans, and constant low-level anxiety. We see leaders who possess immense external authority, yet fly into a rage at the slightest inconvenience. Ruling a kingdom means nothing if the ruler cannot command their own temper. We see brilliant students with high potential failing because their attention is hijacked by every notification. Raw intelligence is useless without the internal discipline to harness it. And we see those who finally acquire the massive houses and wealth they dreamed of, only to find an emptiness in their hearts because they lack the internal mechanism of gratitude. If the modern formula of endless hustle works, why does it reliably produce these psychological collapses? The actual laws of lasting achievement operate in reverse. They run completely counter to what we are taught in the classroom and the office. Mastering true effectiveness requires moving past external validation to embrace a series of counterintuitive internal paradoxes. Long-term results often require a commitment to moving agonizingly slow at the beginning. This is the paradox of speed. This chart shows the growth cycle of the Chinese bamboo tree. For 4 years, the line stays completely flat. Nothing happens above ground. But in the 5th year, the line violently spikes as the bamboo grows 80 feet in just 6 weeks. For those 4 years, the plant was building a massive underground root system. Microscopic daily habits work the same way. They build the structural integrity required to support massive weight later on. Consider a race to move a heavy block of wood over a long distance. While everyone else immediately starts dragging their jagged blocks, one boy sits down and spends hours carving his into a perfectly smooth sphere. He sacrificed his initial lead to eliminate friction. While the others exhausted their muscles dragging dead weight, he simply rolled his sphere to the finish line. Taking the time to prepare and simplify a task mathematically outpaces blind rushing effort every single time. To make the loudest impact on the world, you must stay completely silent about your plans. We often act like David, a young man who aggressively told everyone about his grand dreams. He enjoyed the praise he received just for having the idea, but quickly found he had no energy left to actually do the work. Announcing a goal releases dopamine prematurely, tricking you into feeling successful. Watch the talking meter fill as the drive meter directly depletes. Keep goals internal. Cutting talking to zero routes that biological drive into the execution pathway for actual progress. Contrast David's burnout with a farmer like Thomas, who bought land and built a massive estate in absolute silence. He understood that talking only wastes energy and invites discouragement from others before you're ready to face it. Treating your ambitions as fragile assets protects them from external opinions until they are sturdy enough to stand as finished results. Silence keeps your goals safe from critics, while preserving your internal dopamine for the work that actually matters. Crossing the finish line first is often a hollow victory if the people who started with you were left behind in the dirt. A runner named Ethan learned this when his entire identity was based on defeating competitors for the crowd's applause. When Ethan was challenged to race a blind man and a frail woman, he sprinted ahead and finished in record time. But instead of cheers, he was met with a chilling, dead silence from the audience. The crowd only erupted in joy once Ethan returned to the start, took the hands of his competitors, and walked slowly with them so they could all cross together. They weren't praising his speed, they were celebrating his character. Defeating everyone leaves you entirely alone at the top. True success is measured by the number of people you helped bring along with you. These paradoxes find a physical form in the professor's jar, a simple framework for managing internal priorities against external noise. The big rocks are the internal things, your peace, your health, and your deep relationships. The sand represents the external noise, hustle culture, trivial distractions, and the need for public validation. If the sand goes in first, the rocks are permanently shut out. The quiet, slow, and internal essentials will never fit if the jar is already full of the loud and the trivial. Directly to the audience. Audit your own life. Identify where you are pouring endless sand into your jar, hoping it will somehow leave room for what truly matters. Meaningful lives are defined by the sequence of what we place inside. Putting the rocks in first is the only way to ensure they actually fit. Which rock are you currently leaving on the table?